Sebastian Fundora versus Tszyu, a late replacement fight, a great replacement fight, a fight that was going to be better than the original Tszyu versus Keith Thurman. And it ended up being that, right? This is the fight that I wanted, is the one I was talking about, like, hopefully they can match up in the future, and we end up getting it. And it was a great fight. And it was a fight that I thought Tszyu was showing his level. He was showing that he was one of the top dogs in boxing. And then a cut happens, and it's the elements. This is why it's really hard to predict how a fight's gonna happen, or be consistent, like when it comes to betting the sport or just picking winners. Because there's elements, there's things outside of just skill sometimes. And when this cut happens, you've seen Tszyu really overreact in the second round, really try to go for a stop and try to be super aggressive. And he kind of just lost himself, and then the blood was dripping down his eyes, and it was just a bunch of things that added up that he just kind of threw him off his game. Now, he fought through it. Should they have stopped it? To me, if I would have saw the third round and I was corner, I would have said, this is going to throw him off his game. He's rushing his shots. It didn't look good. I think I would have said, you know what, he can't see. Try to get a hint of what the ref's thinking of doing if he can't continue. If the ref's saying, can he see? And I would say, no, he can't see. It's from you could ask the ref, is it from an illegal shot? You know what I mean? Was it a punch that caused it? Was it elbow? He has to say all those things. But they let it go. Fundora finds his game. I think the cut really benefited him, but he still found his game. The fight went on. The performance is the performance. The result is the result. Fundora finds his game. He does some crafty stuff. He takes the glob of every time they put the Vaseline on Tszyu's head, and it was questionable whether the cutmans were actually prepared for this, but they put a glob of Vaseline to stop the bleeding. Fundora would reach over and grab it off his head. He would literally, first punch he would throw would go to swipe off the thing to get the blood back flowing, and then he would get back on his jab, get back on the straight left. I had a really, really close fight. I thought Tszyu kind of found his legs at the end. Started doing things that he needed to do to win the fight. I scored it a draw. Could all go either way. I'm okay with Fundora winning. I think it's a tough break for Tszyu, but I really believe in Tszyu's talent. I think that he fights any of these guys. I think he's really tough for them. I think he beats a lot of these guys at 154. He beats a lot of guys at 160. And I'm including, I think it's a really tough fight for Terence Crawford. I think he beats Errol Spence. Now you got Errol Spence going to fight Fundora. That's a damn good matchup. I said that before this happened. I said the most interesting matchup that probably comes out of this is Spence versus Fundora. I think those guys match up really, really well. And I think that could be a war. Now let's see how these how the other pieces fall. Every time one of these fights happens, you have to see how the other pieces fall. There's a good chance that maybe Crawford fights for a vacant now. Fundora drops it so he can fight Spence. Crawford fights for vacant. Where is Tszyu going to land in the rankings now that he doesn't have a belt? Might be right back for a title shot next. He doesn't seem like the prime performance we need to rebuild or get him a tune-up. He seems like the kind of guy that wants to get in there with the top dogs, and I would feel still confident. If the cut didn't happen, I would still feel like, hey, I was going to win that fight. I was going to get the stoppage in that fight if this cut doesn't happen. I still want the top dogs. I'm not trying to wait. This is the new mentality I think we're going to see in boxing, where you're going to start getting matchups right after each other. Good matches, ready to go. You lose, okay, that's fine. Get in with another guy. And let's see what we got here. This was a strong start for PBC on Amazon. A very, very strong start. Good card top to bottom. And I'm excited for the new storylines we have in 154.